All right. Well, Rangers lose 5-1 to the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to start this one. Do I start this by saying the line that I thought I was going to say in the opening, pretty much while I was watching the first period or two? Or do I go with something completely different? Because the line I was going to use at the beginning it was, what in the Gerard Gallant did I just watch at Madison Square Garden? But things happened throughout this game that made me question which way I want to go with this thing. I think we know one thing in particular since it's in the title, but yeah, very sloppy game. There was virtually nothing pretty about this game from the Rangers, if we're being honest. And it happens. I get it. I get it. It happens. But the problem that I have is the Buffalo Sabres suck. They are not a good hockey team. And they just got whooped by New Jersey. And I just would have liked it if the Rangers took care of business. My problem also comes with you lose games. It happens. I at least wanted a better effort. But I have no doubt they'll go back to the film room and fix this. I'm not worried. That's the good news about this year versus last year. After a loss last year, it felt more like the sky was falling because it actually could have been the start of what we know as a long losing streak. Where this year, I feel comfortable with the man behind the bench. I feel comfortable with the other guys by his side behind the bench. And I believe in this group to turn the page and to be fine going into next game, going into Wednesday against Detroit. But inexcusable to play like that. Inexcusable to play like that, nevertheless, especially considering the fact that they played pretty poorly defensively against Boston. Let's not sugarcoat it here. They played very bad defensively against Boston. And I would have thought maybe they learn a lesson and play better tonight defensively. No. And I'm guessing that the justification, the only justification I could think of for why the Rangers were still bad defensively and why nothing was fixed is that Laviolette looked at it as the way we all did. Okay, it was a back-to-back against the best team in the league. Neither team is playing crisp, but we'll get our game back after we're rested come Monday night. That's probably the way he looked at it, the way us fans looked at it. And then they just went into this assuming that everything was going to be better, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't, and it's unfortunate how many defensive zone lapses there were. And then the offense, too. The offense. Do not get me wrong. I'm very happy with the way that the chances that they generated at points in the game, they generated a lot of good chances. They had 11 high-danger chances at 5v5. They're not doing that a lot of nights. At least when they were playing good defensively, they weren't. And then 12 in all situations. They had 11, though, high danger chances. My problem was that they tried way too much to cheat the game. They were passing way too much. The overpassing was the same thing that we had as a problem against Boston. That happened in this game. The overpassing was an issue. There was I forgot who tweeted it, but it was bang on. Their breakouts were horrendous. It was exactly what we saw with Gerard Gallant at the helm last year, where they tried way too hard for the home run pass instead of doing what they've been doing all year, where let's work as a unit, let's carry this thing through the neutral zone. Then you have guys getting cute at the blue line, like Panarin was getting cute at the blue line at one point. Barclay Goodrow, I don't know who you think you are thinking that you could try to dance your way at the blue line. Inexcusable, especially with your role. You dump that puck in and you get heavy on the forecheck. Let's go. And that was my issues with the game. But again, I'm not overly worried until there's reason to be overly worried. I'm not overly worried because of the fact that this is the good part, where the Rangers put themselves in a spot where it's a luxury. If they lose games, it happens. As long as it doesn't spiral, that's where there's going to be issues. But the problem is that, again, the D-zone play has been very poor, as of lately. It was a problem against Boston. Big problem against Boston. I don't think there's any denying that. Philly, a little shaky, but not too bad. Pittsburgh, very shaky against Pittsburgh, but they had Jonathan Quick stand on his head. The Dallas game, the D-zone play was horrendous. New Jersey, the D-zone play was not that great. They need to find their way to get back to that defensive game we've seen them play for most of the year, and what got them to this point where they are in this spot where they could afford to lose games and it doesn't hurt as bad. They need to find that defensive game. Look at how they played against Buffalo in opening night. They stuck to that defensive game, and I feel like, too, at points in this game, they were getting away from the neutral zone trap. I felt like they were trying way too hard to step up in the neutral zone, to force plays, and then it would either lead to turnovers or it would lead to guys pinching too far up, and then Buffalo gets their opportunities. They need to clean that up, and again, I have faith that they will, but it's definitely worrisome that it's been a problem for, like Matt said in the chat, 4 of the last 5 games. At least Fox is coming back, and that hopefully will help. I don't know if he's going to be back Wednesday. I don't know if he's going to be back on whenever the next game after that is. What, Saturday? Saturday against Nashville, yeah. Which they laid an egg against Nashville earlier in the year, so hopefully that is not a problem when they play them this time around. But yeah, I mean, the D-zone play was just my main issue. My main issue was the D-zone play. And there was a lot of sloppiness. The game opened with a horrendous breakout pass, too, from Mika Zibanejad. And I think it was Jeff Skinner that got the opportunity in front of the net, and Igor has to make a huge glove save. It could have been someone else, but somebody got Igor has to make a huge glove save. We're getting Igor a chance in the first 2-3 minutes of the game. What are we doing here? And it was horrendous the first few minutes of the game entirely. Took them a bit to get their first good offensive shift. The fourth line, I thought, really set the tone with a good shift. At one point, the Rangers got going a bit, but still, I mean, defensively, come on. Igor had to make a big stop at the doorstep on Tuck. Lindgren and Gustafsson puck watching way too much there, especially Lindgren, who has been he has not been the same. He's not been the same. Is this a thing where he needs Adam Fox? I don't know. Is it a thing where he's playing hurt? I don't know, but Ryan Lindgren has not been good enough lately. And I tweeted it out, and people are like, why are you singling Keandre Miller and Ryan Lindgren out? I'm not singling them out. Believe me, there's a lot of other guys that worry me more in this lineup because I trust those two. At least I've seen the two of them with my own eyeballs in a Ranger sweater at the very least. I've seen the two of them. I think you know who I'm hinting at, but I've seen the two of them in a Ranger sweater with my own eyeballs play good hockey before. I just don't know where they are right now. And the fact that an 800K puck moving defenseman that nobody thought was going to make the lineup. Well, not nobody. Some people thought was the seventh defenseman going into the year, and Erik Gustafsson is outperforming them on a nightly basis. What are we doing here? And you have a guy that's supposed to be your top pair left shot shutdown D-man, and you have a guy who's in his, fourth year in the NHL, fourth year in the NHL, who took massive strides last year, and you expected to be a consistent guy this year, has not shown the consistency. Now, yes, there's plenty of time for things to turn around, and defensively, structurally, they're not looking the best, but there's little mistakes that are the problem, and it's more so with Keandre Miller for me. There was plays in this game where he was just playing soft. Like, let's be honest here. The lack of board battles that he was winning, very concerning. Very weak plays at the end of the game, too, which cost them the empty netters. What are we doing here? Keandre Miller did not look good enough. He had like one hit on Benson in the game. Cool for giving him a little welcome to the NHL moment, but you need to get going. You need to play like that on a consistent basis, Keandre Miller. He plays his best when he's throwing bod, when he's causing havoc too along the boards. That's when we see Keandre Miller as best, when he's breaking the puck out better too. He just hasn't been that the past few games, and it's definitely a bit concerning considering he has been streaky for how many years in a row now? Like every year in the NHL, feels like he's been streaky. It feels like it's been every year now. Sorry, I had the cough. I felt like I don't know if I'm coughing a lot because I'm getting sick or because I feel like I'm going to vomit from what I saw tonight because it was that bad. But yeah, what was I getting to? Oh yeah. Cousins then in front got an opportunity. Jones and Schneider, terrible defensively there, trying to cheat the game. The forecheck, again, looked a bit better, but the D zone, spotty, very spotty. I thought Lafreniere and Gustafson in that first period, there was like one little shift where I'm like, okay, nice play at the neutral zone. That's the hockey we want to get back to. Unfortunately, it didn't really last or didn't carry throughout the game, but if they could get back to that, that will cause a lot more good than bad. Tuck goes off, though, for a hooking penalty. The Rangers, this is the other thing that was infuriating. They had chances on the power play. They had power plays in this game, and they still were not good enough. And it's funny, too, on the day that we all debated, or not we all, I was not part of this debate. I did not feel like dealing with this debate or drama, but Ranger fans debating who should be the first power play quarterback when Fox comes back, and people saying Gustafson, people saying Fox. I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't give a rat's ass as long as they're winning games. Like that's just how it is for me. If things are going bad, make the change, and then I'll care. I'll care when I need to care. For now, I truly don't care. All I know is that the power play needed to get better opportunities at times. Granted, they did have a good opportunity towards the end of the power play. I mean, Trocheck got denied with a glove. Lafreniere, great pass to Coley, denied. And then Blake Wheeler, brutal on the power play, but I'm ripping him apart, but he gets the puck back and he scores. And nope, never mind. It was a hand pass because, yes, apparently your elbow is the same as your hand now. Sure. Apparently it's the same thing. And then you throw your arms up, of course, because this feels like the most Rangers thing ever, right? Feels like the most Rangers thing ever. They get what seems like a goal. Seems like that was going to be momentum in their favor. Seemed like the moment they were going to be like, yeah, we're here to play, and Buffalo doesn't stand a chance because they're not good as good as us. They don't know what the postseason is. So that's where I thought they were going to take the game over, but then Buffalo ends up scoring. Terrible breakout attempt by Ryan Lindgren. Lindgren goes scrambling, too, after that. No forwards helping on the back check pretty much all night that was. And then Peterka snipes one by Igor to make it 1-0. And then Buffalo, they put their foot on the gas after that, and they were getting way too many chances. Terrible breakouts again. Jones coughs the puck up, gets dog walked by Benson, who got some looks in front of the net. The Rangers got rush chances at least. Lindgren overpassed on one. Panarin denied on a chance. Then Trocheck on the rebound. Kreider and Miller, they get rush chances denied. Panarin tries to set up Schneider, a little out of reach for him. Lafreniere with a nice pass through a nice breakout pass to Panarin, up the Trocheck alone, and then Samuelsson takes a holding penalty, and the Rangers get a power play. Trocheck with a good look, saved, and then Buffalo got a rush chance, broken up by the Rangers, thankfully. Panarin and Trocheck come the other way, and unfortunately, they couldn't get a good enough shot off, but that was all she wrote for the first period. And yeah, credit to UPL. I will say that. I'll give credit to UPL. He played a very good game. But at the same time, the Rangers left a lot of meat on the bone there, I felt, with some of those chances. But I'll talk more about that after. Terrible start to the period. Terrible. I thought they were better offensively as the period went along, but the defensive play, horrendous, and they were still overpassing. But they were in the game. It was 1-0. I was like, you're still in the game. We've seen the Rangers do this before. Let's get rolling come the second period. Pitlick has a slot chance denied. Jones and Schneider with another defensive lapse. Igor makes a stop, thankfully. Then Mika misses the pass to Kreider coming the other way. Rangers take it too many men. That's another thing that needs to be addressed. These bench minors are happening far too often this season. Far too often. I don't know how many the Rangers have this year, but they, I feel like, have a lot of too many men penalties. Something you got to be more careful of because that's something that you just can't do pretty much on a nightly basis. That's going to lose you games, and that's a very fixable thing. That's probably the most fixable thing of fixable things. But the Rangers kill that off, thankfully. Jones in with a shot. Trocheck can't bury the rebound. Lafreniere then bodies Krebs in the corner. Lafreniere, I will say it right now, he was definitely the best player for the Rangers tonight. I don't think it's even close. And it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off seeing these idiots. I'm sorry, but they're idiots online being like, Lafreniere, oh, look at his points. He doesn't do much. His points aren't that great. Shut up. If you watch the guy on a night-to-night basis, he is showing up. He's got a sack. He has been he's been unreal night in and night out for the Rangers, and he's showing up pretty much on a nightly basis. And he could easily be a point per game guy. And at some point, with the way that he's playing, he's going to have that ability to take over games. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait and watch. Just watch how stupid these people are going to look when that kid, he already has the confidence. Wait till it gets to another level, to the point where he's looking like Panarin out there. Then you got two guys out there on the same line that could be Hart Trophy candidates, and the two guys out there are putting up points, being difference makers. Just wait for it. Just wait. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. But he had another great night. Gustafsson, he got denied on a rush chance. Jones got his pocket picked by Peterka. Schneider, though, thankfully makes up for it with a good poke. VC strips the puck from somebody. Fans on it in front of the net. Took forever to get a whistle, but I felt the Rangers were getting a lot more offensive chances. The breakouts were still an issue. Lapses, still an issue, but they're still getting some good offensive chances. The Rangers, though, this was my issue. There was so many opportunities they had to get rebounds. That was the biggest issue, I think, for the Rangers. One of the bigger issues for the Rangers tonight. UPL, his rebound control was horrendous. The Rangers fanned on a lot of chances in front of the net. A lot of chances. Or they overpassed on a lot of chances in front of the net. That's something that they need to they need to capitalize on. They need to capitalize on it. And then we get to the storyline of the game. So yeah, the puck goes into the corner. I believe it was Miller that chipped it in. And Eric Johnson, I have to watch the replay. I don't know if it was a slew foot. I'm assuming it was a bad hit or knee on knee maybe. But Kaapo Kakko lands awkwardly, and the moment I saw him land, I knew. I just knew that it was going to be, unfortunately, a disaster. And I said it in the moment. This looks like I'm hoping I'm wrong. I am hoping I am wrong. Even though we've been annoyed with Kakko and we want him to be better, you never want to see this, and you want to see him heat up rather than this scenario. And I feel so bad. He's had it rough the entire season, his entire career, pretty much. And then he goes down, and I said in the moment, that looked like an ACL. The way it looked just as bad, if not worse, because I was in attendance for when Sammy Blais tore his ACL too. Of course I was, right? It looked just as bad, if not worse, than when Sammy Blais tore his ACL 2 seasons ago. It looked bad. It looked bad. And he was writhing in pain, couldn't get up at all. And when he did, he needed help, and he still did not put any bit of weight on that left leg. I hope that it ends up being just a sprain at the most, or I'm hoping that it's the minimum, and I'm hoping he's okay. But I'm having a hard time, until seeing otherwise, believing that it's not the worst, and it's part of just because my mind goes there. But at the same time, with the way that looked bad. That looked bad, and usually you see guys get up and able to skate off at their own will. You see different. You see guys land differently. That did not look good. That looked like someone that just suffered a potential season-ending injury. And again, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that he's okay. But if that's the case, I don't know. I don't know. For a team that already is struggling at the right wing spot because Blake Wheeler cannot play the sport anymore. And then Lafreniere, thankfully, has been a revelation. But do we want to see Jimmy Vesey in this top 9? Do we want to see Barclay Goodrow playing right wing in this top 9? Tyler Pitlick playing right wing in this top 9? I don't know. And I don't know if they're going to call up anyone. I don't know if they're going to reach out to the open market. I don't know. And that's not the concern right now. The concern's more Kakko's health, and hopefully he's okay. I'm assuming he's going to get the MRI tomorrow, and I'm guessing we probably won't get an update until Wednesday. Probably not till Wednesday, maybe tomorrow night. I would guess Wednesday. I'm going to say it this way. If he gets the MRI tomorrow and we find out tomorrow night, that's probably bad news, and that probably means that it's a season-ending injury, because if they do the MRI and it's clearly torn, then yeah, I mean, they could just announce it that night. If they don't announce anything tomorrow night when he gets the MRI, maybe it's good. But it's very concerning too that Laviolette didn't say after the game when he was asked about it. He did not say day to day like he normally does. Didn't say day to day. So that's a problem. But trying to segue from that, I just feel bad for him. I just feel bad. Trying to segue. Lafreniere looked like scored for a minute. The goal horn went off. Ray thought it was a goal since he's in charge of the goal horn. No, that clearly went wide. Even Lafreniere thought he scored. No, it went wide. But regardless, then Bonino toe drags Samuelson. Fires high, but Nick Bonino? All right. And then I cannot stop coughing tonight. Middlestat with a shot saved, and then 2-0. Keandre Miller, yet again, puck watching. Forward's not helping out much either. Alex Tuch gets a rebound in front of the net, and that's 2-0. Another brutal period defensively. Another brutal period. But yeah. And then the third period. Do I have anything really to say? Is there anything to say? The shots say it alone. It was 17-3. Do I need to really explain more what happened in this third period? Here, I'll break it down. Jimmy Vesey pulled a Ryan Strome. He's got to lift the puck. Igor had to stop a billion odd man rushes. Pitlick flatline Peterka. Garbage penalty. They got a makeup call. And then Mika gets a one-timer, and he scores. Good to see Mika score a one-timer. That's what we love to see, because maybe that will get him going. I've been saying, once Mika nails a one-timer, he's truly Barak. And now I think he's going to be more Barak than ever, and I think he is going to be a threat again on the power play, hopefully. But I'm very happy that he scored tonight, a one-timer. That's the biggest positive he could take away from this game, probably. And then outside of that, Alex Tuch just walks in and scores. Keandre Miller, terrible. I mean, the forwards did nothing to help either, but Keandre Miller, terrible play. And then Middlestat got the empty netter. Kyle Pozo nets one because he has to against the Rangers. He played for the Islanders. It's in his DNA. And yeah, pretty much summed up the game that third period. Couldn't break the puck out. Couldn't capitalize on rebound opportunities. Did not get enough. I will say this. It's, I guess, good if you go to all the analytics and it says that the Rangers outplayed Buffalo. I don't know whether to be happy about that or mad, because from the eye test, it felt like it was worse than I watched, but or it was worse than what the analytics say. But hey, at least 5v5, it was a close game, right? Although Money Puck has a completely different answer than Natural Stat Trick. I don't know why, but regardless, the Rangers at least were in the game, and I thought for sure with the momentum that they got after that power play goal, the garbage call, the penalty kill, I thought they were going to get back into the game. I truly thought they were going to win the game. They didn't. It happens, and at the end of the day, a lot of guys need to be better. The entire decor was horrendous tonight. Like, there was not really anyone good. Gustafsson, maybe, outside of that. And he didn't even have that great of a game. Jacob Trouba had a rough game. For a guy that's been great all year, he had a rough game. Keandre Miller, terrible. Ryan Lindgren, somehow worse. The fourth line didn't produce the way that we've seen over the past few games. Watching Blake Wheeler makes me want to pull my hair out. But yeah, I think they'll be fine. As annoyed as I am, and as down as I sound right now, I'm not worried because of the man behind the bench. I'm not worried. They have a 7:30 game against Detroit on Wednesday, and they're going to play better. And they're going to kick Detroit's ass on Wednesday. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. Because they can. But it's just unfortunate. Just unfortunate. And yeah, a lot of mistakes in this game. A lot of mistakes in this game that need to be cleaned up, and especially the defensive side things, because when the Rangers were at the top defensively in the analytics, it's when they were winning a lot of games. Lately, they have been struggling a bit defensively, and the games have been a lot closer than they should be. So, I digress. But let's see what you guys have to say in the chat. All around poor performance tonight. Poor D zone play again. We were relying way too much on the stretch pass, and we were whiffing on way too many chances in the offensive zone. Yeah, I love how I spent 30 minutes breaking the game down, and then Matt just comes in here and like sums it up in one comment. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's see. Hopefully Kakko has a speedy recovery, but with him looking like he's going to miss the season, where do we go now? Kane, Othman, make a trade for someone. All I know is something has to be done. I mean, I don't think Othman's ready. I don't. And I'd rather over-marinate him regardless. It's hard to make a trade. I don't know if the Rangers shut the door on Patrick Kane or not fully. But if he's out long term, they have to open that door again, because I don't know what else you do, because you're not making a trade in the middle of November or early December. Othman's not ready. I don't know. But they have to do something, because I refuse. I refuse to watch Barclay Goodrow in the top 9 and Blake Wheeler continue to play first line minutes, because then there's nobody good enough to take over his spot. At least with Kakko playing, there was a chance he heats up and takes that first line right wing spot. There is not a shot Barclay Goodrow is jumping up on the first line. This sucks. Yeah, Jones and Schneider did look like the best pair. And they weren't even that great. Yeah, Keandre got bodied. That was embarrassing, yeah. Yeah, it's not good for Kakko. It's not good for Kakko. Before we jump further into the stream, by the way, leave a like if you have not already. I really would appreciate that. Really would. Got 34 of you in the chat. Just don't hesitate to leave a like. Yeah, too many high danger chances against. Couldn't wait until you're on. Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate that. It was so embarrassing on Cancer Night in a Hockey Fights Cancer. I mean, just ridiculous. It was such a lazy effort, and they finally got a goal. Yeah, I mean, that building was pretty electric at points. I had my Hockey Fights Cancer jersey on. Got the sign up there. You can't see it on camera, but it's up there. Yeah. Yeah, the neutral zone play was not good. Yeah. Yeah, Igor, I don't blame him for breaking his stick at the end. He is he's been like, this is how spoiled we are with goaltending that we're saying he hasn't been good enough. He's been okay, but we know he's better than this. And we'll see it. We'll see it. I trust him to turn it around because of how he is. Yeah, 4 assists doesn't tell the story for Lafreniere. Yeah, Logan, pretty much that they looked like they had cement in their skates. Yeah. That's one way to put it. That is one way to put it. I am starving right now. I need to see what I could I need food. I need food. I did not eat dinner at all because I am not intelligent. So, yeah, that's fun. So, I'm getting distracted. Great podcasting here by me as always, right? Great podcasting here, but let's see. Yeah, I wish I could be like nothing to analyze, just move on. I wish. That's true. That the other positive outlook is that it's an outlier. I don't know if Brett Berard is the answer either, or if he's ready. The only guy that really is available in Hartford is Johnny Brzezinski. Him in the top 9 though would, I don't know, because Heedle's probably still like 2 weeks out or so. The only guy in Hartford that would maybe be ready outside of that is Riley Nash. At least they have veteran depth, I guess, this year. But I'm going to wrap this up early, and I do apologize for that. I do want to go eat. I do want to go shower. I do want to go lay in bed. I want to do all of those things. And I want to forget about this game, most importantly, because it sucked. And because I'm more excited for Wednesday when they're going to turn the page and win. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like if you have not already. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.